On September 9, 2025, Doha's calm was shattered by explosions. An Israeli airstrike struck the city. The target high-ranking Hamas leaders, long hosted by Qatar as part of its mediation efforts. This attack was unprecedented, bringing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to the heart of the Gulf. The world was stunned. The rules had changed overnight. Israel's message was clear: nowhere was off-limits. For Doha's citizens, the blast ended any illusion of safety. The city, once a symbol of diplomacy, was now a conflict zone. The attack forced every nation in the region to reconsider its alliances and security. The quiet diplomacy of the Gulf was replaced by dangerous uncertainty. The world braced for what would come next. In response, Qatar called an emergency Arab-Islamic summit. Leaders from over 20 nations gathered in Doha, united by outrage and urgency. The summit's goal: decide on a collective response to the Israeli strike. The world watched as regional heavyweights, Saudi Arabia, Iran, the UAE, Turkey, debated their next move. Would they choose diplomatic protest, economic sanctions, or something more drastic? Qatar, thrust into the spotlight, had to lead a divided group toward consensus. The outcome would shape not just the region's response, but Qatar's future as a diplomatic power. The stakes were higher than ever. The region's unity, or lack of it, would soon be tested. As leaders arrived, Doha became a fortress. Streets closed, soldiers everywhere, helicopters overhead. The city's usual energy was replaced by anxiety and tension. Inside the summit, leaders faced immense pressure from their people to act decisively. The attack had shattered Doha's sense of security, and the summit brought global fault lines to its doorstep. Opening statements were charged with anger and condemnation. The challenge channeled outrage into a unified, effective strategy. A weak response would embolden Israel, an aggressive one risked wider war. Doha's residents watched, hoping for peace but fearing escalation. The world waited for the summit's outcome. The airstrike drew swift condemnation from Gulf states, showing rare regional unity. Iran called for a joint Islamic military response, pushing the region toward confrontation. The U.S., Israel's key ally, urged de-escalation but reaffirmed support for Israel, fueling Arab suspicions. Qatar's urgent talks in Washington underscored the stakes for American interests. The conflict's international dimension deepened, with global powers and regional rivals maneuvering for influence. The UN's recent support for Palestinian statehood seemed powerless against military realities. The Doha summit became the focal point for global diplomacy. Could these leaders pull the region back from the brink? The world watched, anxious for a breakthrough. As the summit neared its end, leaders faced a stark choice: unity or division. Options ranged from diplomatic condemnation to suspending ties with Israel or pushing for UN action. The goal: deter future attacks and reassert sovereignty. But deep divisions remained. Some feared jeopardizing ties with the West. Others pushed for confrontation. Iran's influence threatened to split the group. The final communique would reveal whether the region could stand together. The world held its breath, waiting to see if this crisis would forge unity or deepen the rift. The answer would shape the Middle East for years to come.